There's a sucker born every minute. Now, that quote is attributed to P.T. Barnum, although his biographer, according to what I could research, said that they never found a place where he actually said it. This is Dr. David D. Schein. Welcome to a special episode of Business Law 101. Recently, in the legal news, we've had a report on a gentleman named Alex Jones, and he is out of Austin, Texas. He produces a syndicated radio show called InfoWars, and last report I've heard, though, with all his legal problems, I don't know how many stations are carrying him, but the reports are that he has over 100 stations were carrying his show at least one time. And he is described by Wikipedia, which has a rather uncomplimentary page on him, as a far-right person and as a conspiracy theorist, whatever a conspiracy theorist is. But this fellow does have apparently a large following, and since he leans conservative, it may have some crossover with Trump. Apparently, he's expressed support for President Trump, and I assume challenge the results of the 2020 election, as many in a particular camp have done. But in any event, part of his conspiracy theories, including the fact that he claims that the moon landing in 1969 was a staged event and that the Americans did not really land on the moon. Since here in Houston, Texas, we know people who actually were part of the moonshot and walked on the moon and produced moon samplings from rocks that they brought back. I don't have a serious concern whether somebody actually was on the moon in 1969, but in any event, he does. And rather seriously, he has challenged the tragic and awful events in Sandy Hook, Connecticut in 2012, when a shooter went in and killed 20 children and 6 adults. And I have never understood why anyone would come forward and deny that this horrible thing took place. But in any event, as part of Alex Jones' radio show or other things that he said, he has maintained that it is not a true event. It is done to achieve other political purposes. And normally something like this would not produce lawsuits. But the story that's been told in both Texas and Connecticut courts is that he so persistently maintained this that for some reason, some people came out of the woodwork and actually harassed these grieving parents and relatives about this situation, I guess claiming that their relatives weren't killed or something like that. And it caused emotional distress and it caused harassment. So in any event, one claimant here in Texas has been awarded $50 million. And there are 3 cases that are consolidated and pending in Connecticut. I understand he's already lost the cases, but there is a key element that is happening now, which is there is separate case to determine what the damages are to be awarded to. Apparently, it's 3 plaintiffs collectively representing 15 people. So I guess 3 different families collectively with 15 members. But in any event, Alex Jones and his company, which is called Free Speech Systems, were liable for defamation. And so now we're in the damages phase of the case, and they're having separate discovery to determine what promotional income Mr. Jones obtained during this period. Apparently, he's produced records up to 2019. And the dispute is why he hasn't produced the records from 2019 to the present that were requested by the plaintiffs. And things kind of came to a head yesterday, made the business law news, which is that the judge has not only sanctioned Mr. Jones, but has also barred his attorneys from presenting a defense regarding what income he does or does not have. And of course, obviously, with such large sums of money being bandied about here, it's quite possible we may be seeing a bankruptcy filing, or there's already been one. So this is just a very unusual and difficult business law situation that's arisen. And so I anticipate that one of two things will happen. One is that the judge, the defense, and the plaintiff attorneys will negotiate an agreement to get more information put together. And two, if that does not work or does not happen, then I anticipate that the defense attorneys will take it up to the Connecticut appellate courts. Now, keeping in mind that Alex Jones is from Austin, I don't expect, and the killings at Sandy Hook were in the state of Connecticut, I don't expect much sympathy for him in the court system in Connecticut. This is Dr. David D. Schein for Business Law 101. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on your favorite platform.